Hey, what's going down, everybody? It's Arrow back with another Dead Cells run. This time we are on day 9, and this first one I just call Quick Death because, as you can expect, I die pretty quick in this one. But I pick up some of my favorites, like the Swift Sword, and quickly get things going. A few jump cuts here because it's just boring if you have to sit around and watch me run back and forth all day. But yeah, you can tell right away I was pretty rusty getting into this particular one. So I thought, well, I'm doing okay. I'm gonna make it. Not too not too worried. I take a few hits every now and then if I haven't played in a while. Right, I'm only on day 9, or my 9th day of playing this. But then right here, boom. So no problems. We will start over and get right back to it again. This one I call skydiving because I didn't quite make it all the way. Fractured Shrines, if you're familiar with that. And of course, one of my favorites, if the Cursed Sword comes up, I do try to take it, no matter what. But you can see here, I actually do pretty good and start off really getting into things. So it does help with the Cursed Sword if you take your time a little bit on things, and then having the enemies die in like 1 or 2 hits is kind of like the best. So if you're good at dodging and blocking things out of the way, the Cursed Sword can actually be quite a big boon for you, especially to get through some of these earlier stages. Right? Obviously, if you don't know what you're doing, don't use the Cursed Sword, because 1 hit and you're dead. But I do like it because I pick up cursed chests, and now I'm not like overthinking, should I be doing this? Should I be not doing this? And you can kind of see I take it a little bit slower on these. I have everything sped up here. That's just because I don't want these videos to go on for like 40 or 50 minutes. So I double the speed, but like, you get the idea. You can see how I kind of run back and forth. You know, once you got the timing on these guys, you can kind of make it so not just that you're dodging, but you're out of the way completely of things that are going to happen. So right there, I was actually kind of scared on that elite, but with the Cursed Sword, again, everything dies so quick, right? And this one, yeah, I had to throw that in there. So I was super nervous about that, but you see the ice grenade really took care of everything. So don't forget, right, use your abilities. That's one of the things I had to learn. I was getting kind of weird about not using them when I first started, and sometimes I am still bad about doing it. I don't know why. I still grab the Gardener's Key. I just think it's kind of a cool little secret the way things were done there. Alright, and you can see we're just smashing through this level. This one's a lot of fun. A lot of enemies, a lot of mobs kind of like piled up. More spikes than I remember on some of the previous runs, but that's alright. Alright, so I figure it's about time we we swap out. I don't know how much longer I can go without getting hit. So, which I think was a good idea, because I get hit, you know, I'll go a little time before getting hit, but I do eventually get hit, obviously. And it was something I don't think I could have avoided with the Cursed Sword, so it's perfect. There you go. And I just jumped right to when I first started getting hit, and it was a big one. So the katana, great sword if you're not used to using it. It has one of the few mechanics of like dashing through enemies and for crits, which is pretty cool. I had to use a blast there. Of course, never like doing that, but sometimes it happens. Yeah, nothing in that door, so we'll just skip a lot of this stuff. Alright, so I picked up one of my other favorite weapons here. I don't think I showed it, but gotta love the lance. Enemies up against the wall for critical damage. It's a great one to have, especially kind of depending on where you're going to. Or sorry, the Impaler, now that I'm seeing it. So you can see here some decent walls, but I'm not really getting the enemies up against them, so the Impaler is not really doing its full damage here. But that's alright, it's good enough, and it does kind of have a pushback, which is great. So it just knocked off the 30 kills right there. There you go, now you can see it really kind of get into action. But it took a swipe right there, which sucks, but it happens. And then with these, you have to do so much dodging. If you get caught in that trap of back and forth dodging, it feels like those fights with those guys are like never ending. The bombs, the birds, like just on and on and on. So I really do try to back them up against the wall and try to kill them as quick as possible. They're one of the few that I really go after. That was just an annoying elite fight right there. Nothing I want, so yep, of course, grab the cash. Ancient sewers, so I'm deciding where I'm going to go next. You know, sometimes it's hard to choose. I just kind of random it. Ossuary, always a good one. Gotta take one of my favorites here, No Mercy. Especially if you're doing any boss fights, it's a really good one to have. So I'm going to skip that 10,000 down on the ground and getting cursed, because obviously if I had taken it, I would have died right there. Which I know that. I kind of know my skills at this point on what I can get away with and what I can't. So typically you'll find me taking things like curse chests and, you know, items that curse me in areas where I'm pretty sure I'm going to do well. This area isn't really that bad, depending on kind of where you are. Especially if you have the little guys that jump out of the containers onto the ground. Makes it a whole lot easier to deal with. So I spent a lot of time looking at that, determining whether it was good enough or not. Of course. So perfect. Pick up the fragment. And you can see that No Mercy, everything gets executed. Like, it's pretty handy. When you think about it, adding a 15% damage boost to like your weapons is an amazing thing, right? You put that with combo, and then everything kind of just starts melting after that point. Not gonna take the chest. So this is one of those levels I'm not super familiar with, so I do a lot of running around, kind of saying like, well, where's the where's the exit, or where am I supposed to go? As opposed to obviously the levels, I do a lot more, but I just don't always make it here. Perfect, nice elite fight. I'm getting better on these ones that have like the things that pop up from the ground, or these square boxes that you have to fight within. That was kind of a new, sort of a new thing at 3 boss cells that I had to get used to. Maybe it was earlier, but I just don't remember it. So if you know, let me know. For anyone watching these, trying to figure out how long it's going to take you to get to a certain point. The good old Black Bridge. Alright, so Concierge, that's a fairly boring fight. You can see I had to use some flasks here. And this is one of those, I don't know why, it's like usually I can get through this fight without only taking maybe like 1 or 2 hits, but this time I just struggled with it. Honestly, I think it's because it's just a boring fight, and I should probably try to avoid it if possible, because it's just boring. I mean, look at this. Just back and forth, jump, move. I think I just was like, I'm tired of this. And I'm taking way more damage than I usually do. So, Look at that, 2 health blasts on this guy. So, nice execution right at the end. Grab the loot and get out of here. Finally down in that S tier section, which is awesome. All right, let's go fracture trines, and you can see how quick I just kill myself. Rookie mistake right here, right off the bat. Love fractured shrines. Bam, right off, died. Anyway, thanks for watching this time around, and we will check everybody when we get back on day 10.